So we made some research about care homes and agencies that recruit international care workers who are outside of Canada, and we found some government approved agencies. We are going to be sharing with you guys 2 agencies in today's video. Based on the information on their platforms, there is no hidden charges, and they also provide LMIA approved jobs. One of these agencies clearly stated that they also sponsor overseas applicants with LMIA approved jobs. It is boldly stated on their platform, and we are going to walk you guys through these platforms shortly. Please, we also want to encourage you all to always make your personal research after watching videos like this so that you can be properly guided. If you need a one-on-one guide on how to go about your immigration journey, kindly book a call with us. The link is in the video description. Don't forget to give this video a like if you find it very useful, and please share it with your friends. Let's get started.
We will compile and post advertisement in compliance with Employment and Social Development Canada advertising requirement. Our in-house immigration consultant will compile and complete the necessary labor market impact assessment application and submit to ESDC on your behalf. ESDC will process the application. The positive approval will be mailed for your attention. A copy of the approved LMI together with the employment contract is then sent to the specific overseas visa office, where our immigration consultant will apply for a work permit and temporary visa for the said candidate. On approval, the candidate will submit their passport to the visa office. The visa office will then grant the candidate a visa and temporary work permit. The candidate may then travel to Canada, and the nanny hiring process or caregiver hiring process is almost over. For assistance with LMI process or for assistance sponsoring a foreign worker to Canada, our services include assistance in preparation and submission of such documents such as job bank advertisement, LMI application to ESDC, employer-employee contract. We also assist in the recruitment and selection of a suitable temporary foreign worker such as a nanny or caregiver. Hello guys, you're welcome to Immigrate with Ammy, and today we are going to be sharing more opportunities for people who are in the healthcare service provider sector, okay? And of course, this is also linked to the new immigration program which has been rolled out by Canada to ensure that more caregivers can also become permanent resident in Canada. So over the past 2 weeks or thereabout, we've actually been sharing with you guys a lot of different opportunities that allows you to easily find caregiver jobs in Canada. And today we're going to be sharing 2 more organizations that is providing opportunities and support to international caregivers for them to be able to easily find jobs in Canada. What I read in the beginning of the video is actually from one of these companies. They don't just provide you with job opportunities or match you with individuals or families who need your service as a caregiver. They also go beyond that to ensure that they support you for immigration, for visas, for work permit applications, for LMI approvals, and other useful support that you might need as an international worker. So we're going to be talking about the 2 organizations that are providing these opportunities to you as a caregiver. I will be showing you from their platform how you can apply for their open positions. We'll also be sharing with you the requirement for each of these organizations so that you can be better prepared to take on these opportunities. So we're starting with the first one, which is Nannies Incorporated. So they are present in Ontario, in Alberta, and in British Columbia, okay? And they have opportunities either for people who are looking for nanny jobs or for people who are looking for caregiver jobs, okay? And apart from these job opportunities, they also support with LMI applications, as you can see here on their homepage, and they also offer a lot of different immigration services for those who are also looking to explore other options apart from this job offer route. Let's take a look at their caregiver or nanny hiring process. So they are saying here that their hiring process is actually easy with Nannies Incorporated, and you can read here what they do for their clients. So the way it is that most times it's actually individuals or families who are in need of the caregivers or the nannies, okay? And since they don't have that capacity to go through the process of hiring a foreign worker by themselves, what they do most times is to contract that service to agencies like Nannies Incorporated, who then step in to take care of recruiting a foreign worker, supporting the foreign worker to get the visas and the work permit, and then helping that person to settle in Canada. All right, so they actually take care of all of those processes to make it a smooth transition for a foreign worker to actually be matched to a family or to an individual who is in need of a nanny or a caregiver. Okay, so we can see here what they will do. So they will actually take care of the process from start to finish, just as I highlighted in the beginning of the video. And of course, the favorable end of the process is when you successfully arrive in Canada with a job offer, and then you start working with necessary work permit that you need as a temporary foreign worker. Okay, and don't forget that for this new program that has been approved by Canada Immigration, you will actually be able to get your permanent residency once you get to Canada as a temporary foreign worker. So once a job offer has been extended to you, they will also be the one who will take care of the labor market impact assessment process, okay, which is necessary, or which is like a necessary requirement for them to be able to sponsor you as a foreign worker to Canada. So if you want to apply to them as a nanny or a caregiver, they have an online form on their website that you would need to actually fill. So what they are saying here is that all nannies or caregivers that apply must be fully qualified to properly care for children or elderly under their care. The main role for our nannies and caregivers is to provide a safe and caring environment for the families that they work with. Okay, so let's take a look at the application form. By the way, all the relevant links are in the video description. You can consult the link for more information. Okay, so basically on the application form, you would need to select the type of job that you want, either a nanny or a caregiver, and then if you want a full-time or a part-time, if you want a live-in or a live-out service. Okay, and then you will also provide your personal information, which includes your name, first name and last name, your email address, your telephone number, your citizenship, your date of birth, your city, your province, your country, your status in Canada. So here, if you are an international applicant who is currently outside of Canada, you would need to select requires sponsorship. Okay, and of course, if you're already in Canada, then you can select the options that best describes your status or your situation. Okay, so select require sponsorship, and then do you need to be sponsored? Of course, you should say yes, and then for how long, then you can also state if either for 1 year, 2 years, depending on what you're actually looking at. Okay, so here you would need to upload a photograph of yourself, since these are like personalized services where you will be having contact with family members. They want to actually know as much information as they can about you, so you need to upload your photograph. Okay, and then here you are going to put your employment history. You will need to actually answer all of the questions that are right there regarding employment history. And then again, they need some other details like your valid driver's license, if you have an ability to swim, if you are comfortable with pets, if you are a non-smoker or if you're a smoker. And then below there is an open box where you can tell them about yourself. Okay, so this is just an opportunity to sell yourself, to give relevant information about yourself that makes you the perfect candidate for this opportunity. Okay, and once you have been able to complete all of that information, then you can just click on submit, and then they will receive your application and then review your profile to see if they would like to move on with you in the application process. Okay, so basically this is how you can reach out to them, or how you can get your profile submitted to Nannies Incorporated. Let's move on to the other opportunity that we wanted to also present to you, which is Paragon Personnel Limited. Okay, so they are also based in Canada, and they also recruit caregivers and nannies both inside and outside Canada as well. Okay, so you can read up more information on their homepage about who they are, their mission, and other useful information like the testimonials and all of that. Okay, but let's move on to the processes of applying to them as a live-in caregiver. Okay, so Canada has certain requirements if you want to apply for a nanny job or a caregiver job as a foreign worker or as an international skilled worker. All right, so they have some general regulations, and you would need to meet these regulations if you want to apply to Paragon personnel for these open opportunities. Okay, so in order for you to qualify for a position as a nanny in Canada, all applicants must meet 4 requirements set by Citizenship and Immigration Canada under the Temporary Foreign Worker Program. Okay, so what are the conditions? You must have successfully completed the equivalent of 1 full year post-secondary education in Canada. So equivalent means if you didn't study in Canada, you would need to do the credential assessment so that they can determine if it is equivalent to a 1 year post-secondary education in Canada. We've always been speaking about this, that you would need to evaluate your educational credentials. You don't need to evaluate all of it. You can evaluate the highest one, or the one that is relevant to the opportunity that you are actually looking for. The second requirement for this caregiver job is that you must have 6 months of full-time training in a school environment or 12 months of work experience in paid employment in a field or occupation related to the job you are seeking as a live-in caregiver. So basically, you need to have either 6 months full-time training in a school, in a college, or 12 months of paid full-time work experience. Okay, the third or the next requirement is that you must show that you have the adequate level of English language proficiency, okay, or French language proficiency. And generally, for example, for the English, you need to have a Canadian language benchmark level of 5 in English or French. Okay, and then finally, you must also show that you have all the necessary documents required for the application, which includes an employment contract between you and your future employer. Of course, they will be the one to actually match you with the opportunities that they currently have. Language test, which shows that you have a CLB level 5 in English or French, and equivalent foreign credential proven with an educational credential assessment. Okay, so basically these are the requirements if you want to apply for caregiver job in Canada. Okay, now for you to get started with them, there are certain requirements that you will need to get ready before you can apply to them, and they have an application form, and I'm going to show you that application form. But let's take a look at the specific requirement for you as a caregiver that you would need to present if you want to apply for opportunities at Paragon Personnel Limited. Okay, you would need to provide reference letters from your present and previous employers. You will also need to write a Dear Family letter, and I will show you a sample of that letter. So which means since you're going to be working with an individual or a family, you will also need to write like a letter of introduction just to introduce yourself, who you are, your profile, your experience, what's your story, why are you interested in this opportunity, something like that. So I will show you a sample of that. You will need to also submit certificate of education. You would need to present your photographs, and of course, finally, a copy of your travel document, which is your passport. Okay, and if you already have the work permit, then you can also present your work permit as well. So you will need to submit all of these requirements with the signed application form before they will be able to consider you for any open opportunity. Okay, let's take a look at the nanny self-introduction letter. You can see a sample here. You can see it starts from Dear Family. My name is Andre Schwarz, and I was born in Frankfurt, Germany on February 2nd, 1982. So basically, you can take a look at this sample letter just for you to see exactly what you need to put in that letter, what information is relevant. Of course, it's not all information about yourself that is relevant, but it's important that you put some key information which presents you as an ideal candidate for that opportunity. So when you read this self-introduction letter, you will have an idea about what to include in yours as well. Okay, and then finally they have an application form that you will need to complete and then sign, and of course add the other requirement which I already showed you here. Okay, this other requirement here, and then forward it to them for review. Okay, so let's take a look at the application form before we end this video. So start with your name, your address, your email address, date of birth, your permanent address, if you speak English, your education and training, and then the additional training that are relevant, so first aid, CPR, geriatric care, others, and then your domestic experience, your child care experience, if you drive, if you like pets, if you smoke, if you swim, your hobbies and your interests, and then the locations that you prefer, and then the type of position that you want, either live in, live out, full-time or part-time. They also want to know your status in Canada. So if you need sponsorship, this is where you will state it that you need sponsorship. You can provide here details of your present and last and previous employer, along with duties performed, date of employment, and the age of children under your care. Okay, so you can put that information here. They also want to know the reason why you left or you want to leave your job. You can fill all of that here. So basically just make sure you don't leave anything out. Fill the form completely, and then at the end make sure you write the date and you sign the form as well. Okay, if you have further questions or you want to be sure of some information before you submit your application, they have provided a phone number here, okay, that you can use to actually reach out to them, okay, so that you can get some clarification regarding. They also have an email address, by the way, that you can write to ask your questions and to get your clarification. Okay, so guys, we've been talking about these two opportunities. So they don't really require you to be applying for jobs as such. Okay, they are the ones that have the links with the families and individuals who require your services, and if your profile matches what they are looking for, of course they would actually continue with you in the application process. So we've spoken about Paragon Personnel, and we have also spoken about Nannies Incorporated as well. So check out these two opportunities. Wish you all the best in your application. And if you need a one-on-one consultation just to speak about these opportunities and how you can prepare yourself, you need help drafting your CVs, we offer those services. Okay, reach out to us by email, and then we can move forward from there. Thank you so much guys for watching, and have a lovely day.